that was a big problem. But I think we've traded in one problem for another problem now. I think there's a certain amount of indifference. I think people feel entitled. And I think it's time that we really look around this community. I ask you to go around this barrio and see what kind of people live here. I mean, these are good, hardworking people, but we can only do so much. I'm willing to share my income tax returns. My salary has been public. I'd like to see some of their returns. You know, firemen work one day and they have 2 days off. We have authorized them to go and have a second job. And so they're getting their good pay plus additional work. I mean, you know, we're trying to be fair with everyone, but there are limits. This is the first economy of generations. We cannot continue to operate like this.
Would you firefighter salaries compare in Weslaco and other neighboring areas? I know you were saying.
Typically, you will find that departments that are unionized are going to have higher salaries than non-union departments. But I guess, again, I think the salaries are very competitive, but the problem is the rules of the game, collective bargaining. This is how you engage management, and this is how you're going to fight. You know, it's hard to step back and realize, you know, now is not the time to ask for a raise. Now is not the time to be asking for more. Let's get together. Let's work together. This is the same community. Let's try to do something without, you know, being fair with everybody. We've got two classes. We have numbers that show that police and fire consistently pay more than non-union employees. And we continue to negotiate benefits for police and fire while the rest of the operation doesn't have. We have haves and have-nots in the city of Weslaco. I'm trying to have some type of parity, but that takes time. So, again, I think the system is broken, and I think we need to at least start the dialogue to try to be rational and fair. We pay our public safety dollars, our officials very well, and I think we need to step back and take a look at what is appropriate.
What I'm asking is, how do firefighter salaries here in Weslaco compare to cities?
Well, I'll be happy to get those numbers, and that's part of the process I think we need to look at. We have looked at salaries. We looked at staffing levels, but we haven't run the numbers on salaries. But we'll be happy to do that. Again, we haven't run the numbers, but my impression is going to be, my good feeling is that unionized departments are going to be making more than non-unionized departments.
Yeah, that's sort of a customer. If Weslaco firefighters are
Sure.
paid more than, you know, a city that's the
If
size
you're
of
good, well, you would have to compare, again, apples and apples. Look at cities with this population, with this general fund, with other departments that are unionized, and I'd be happy to look at those numbers. I don't have that information.
Their main concern is public safety, not the money. We won't have to do that.
Again, and that's why I go back to our ISO ratings. These are the insurance companies that come together, evaluate a community in terms of what your staffing level is, how much water pressure you have, that sort of stuff. Our ISO ratings is at 4, from a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the best. That's correct. 1 being the best. We're a 4, so we're slightly above average. We've been at a 4 for 10 years now, despite the number of firefighters that we've hired. So the ratings are there. They haven't changed. And we'll look at crime statistics also in terms of how we're doing in terms of violent crimes, what have you. We've actually seen those. We saw those last year. Our crime rates tend to be higher than most communities our size, and we'll be happy to put that information on the web.
I know you said it was disrespectful for the firefighters to put up that billboard, but why shouldn't they? If they want to do that,
And you know what? I support their First Amendment right of free speech. I'm not challenging that. I'm challenging the fact that I think being so public, I've been able to engage in conversations with labor behind closed doors, and we have good exchange. There's no need to be so critical of the commission who represents a community who has consistently supported these efforts over a generation. I think that was just going too far.
why do you think they did that? Is that strategic?
You'll have to ask them that. Well, again, that might be frustration on their part in terms of, again, we've had reductions in the city. We have no money to be providing raises. That's speculation on my part, but I would suggest talking to them.
I heard that there were concerns that there was talks about making some more fence departments. Is there anything like that being looked at right now?
Right now, I think in all the reductions we've had, whether voluntary reductions in forces, have been in response to our financial needs, in terms of trying to build that fund reserve that every city, every well-run city should have. Every person needs to have a certain cushion in their bank account. So we've responded to that. That's based on 3 bond ratings that have gone consistently down. Our last rating has not gone down, it's been held steady. So I think we're turning the corner in terms of our bond rating and our finances. But we've had to make some very difficult decisions. And so the other response was because of the 380 agreements that we found out about. Again, these were agreements that were I guess entered into years ago that didn't become due until this fiscal year. And so when we found out about them, we had to adjust the operation. This is structural changes because these agreements are for 10 and 20 years, and they're substantial. And so we had to make structural changes to the operation. So but there are reasons we've done what we've done. We don't, it was not out of any knee-jerk type reaction. We did it because it was appropriate.
But are there plans to do anything?
No, right now I think we're at the appropriate staffing levels. We're about 240, 250 from a high of 360. And I think our finances, we built a fund balance this fiscal year. And I think we made some tough decisions now, but it's going to have payoffs in the next few years, and it's going to really get the city on the right path.
Does this billboard have consequences for talks between Weslaco?
We're engaged in CBA negotiations right now, and I'm not really going to get into the substance of those negotiations. But there are some civil service violations, potential civil service violations that will actually result in that sign.
So could it affect talks?
I'm not going to discuss the talks themselves. Those are open to the public, and that was one of that was another issue. But I'll have those discussions with labor at the appropriate time.
Could it affect your ability to talk?
We are still talking to them. We're looking at options right now. This is, again, very disappointing and disrespectful. And so we'll see what happens.
They feel that you are probably going to punish them or are punishing them for putting these billboards on.
No, we're not punishing them. The only thing we're doing is we're going to look at any potential civil service violations. And there may be some. And we'll look at that carefully. We do not, I think the statement we put out yesterday and the information we're putting out today has been thoughtfully thought out, and we've vetted it with legal and HR, and so we've been responsible in terms of our response. It's just that I think maybe they've reached a certain frustration with the city's finances, the economy, what have you. I think I've reached a certain frustration as well. We have allegations being made by one police union, there are 2 unions there. One police union has made some very vocal allegations that on the face don't support the allegation. I've got another union who's now criticizing our city commission and this community, and I take these things seriously. And so that's why this decision, what I'm making in terms of my recommendation to the commission, it's tough for me to do this. I'm not going to be a hero. I'm going to be criticized because, again, police and fire are instant heroes. I'm the bad guy. I've got the tie on. I'm the bureaucrat. But you need to look behind and look at those numbers, and let's get real about this stuff.
What specific violations are you having?
I'm not going to comment on the specifics, but there are some potential civil service violations as a result of that building. And so we're going to be looking at that. Again, we're not trying to retaliate, but if there is something that was not done properly, we're going to look into it.
It's pretty vague.
Well, and we'll it's, I'll be happy to give you a copy of the civil service rules, and you can look through them, and I'm sure you'll find a potential violation.
Leo, very quickly, I'm sorry, I came into contact late. I know that the investigation against the chief is completed. You found no wrongdoing. Are you concerned, though, that officers have a real sense that they don't have confidence in their leader? Does that concern you about public safety?
Absolutely, and we have two unions in the police department, and I think if you look at your archives, you'll see that the history there between the two unions, and that's not my concern. My concern is the department, its employees, and the leadership there, and that's why I wanted to make sure that we looked at this allegation was not really made by anyone who had first-hand knowledge. It was just an attorney for